I have a confession.
Tell me.
So after probably years of you telling me to, and other people also telling me to, last night at 9:00, I raised my prices.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I wish I had like noisemakers and stuff, because for real. I know. I wish I had like banging pots.
I had therapy yesterday. I was talking to my therapist, and then even she was like, why is that so low? And we're talking about boundaries and how I'm like totally zero boundaries with like clients, and it's a huge problem and I resent it, but I'm doing it anyways. And then even when her face, I was like, oh shit. I mean, I gotta raise my prices. All those people were right. And I also knew that I was gonna chicken out. So I set a timer for 15 minutes. I wrote a Post-it, which I've already lost. Oh no. Of all the places I had to update it. And then I was like, here we go. And I did it. I know. And I was even mid-launch. I was like, just do it. Just fucking do it. Nobody knows. No one has to know. No one has to know. And so I did it.
That's amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I need to be excited. So I want to say that for you.
Yay, this is incredible. I hope you make all the money, and I hope that, everyone out there listening will know that it takes courage to do these things, but it's well worth the doing.
Yeah. And you know what? A friend, because I was asking another question about pricing in another group, and she said, pricing is part of your brand too.
It is. It's true. Yeah. So I have a little, based on that, I have a little bit of a story to tell. It's it's off our topic from today, but we're kind of going there. I updated my website, my site right before I went to LA this last time, and I made a couple tweaks. And it seems that one of the tweaks I did is I accidentally raised one of my prices significantly, and I didn't realize it. And everybody just paid it.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice.
Yep. That's what happens.
And no. I raised one of my facials by $55, and I just didn't notice it. It's my most popular facial. Nobody said anything. Nobody noticed it. And I didn't notice either. It wasn't until I came home that I was going through my logs of how much everything costs. And I was like, wait, what? I charge people how much for that? Oh, well, I guess that's the new price then.
And that was that. Like, anytime I've like overcharged or like that kind of thing, I'm like, I'm not going to refund. This is the new price. They have proven to me that this price will stand.
No, not one person said anything. It's all pre-bookings too. So they could have contacted me like, hey, Sybil, did you realize that this is now $55 more expensive? Nobody said anything. So clearly I was charging too little, and I just hadn't been aware of it.
Yeah. Well, and also I think that proves too, people are there for the service, right? That the value you bring is pretty much unrelated to what that number is, which I think happens way more than we ever want to admit, right? We're like, I got to price low because literally said this. I needed to price low because I wanted people to like me and I didn't want to scare them away. And I'm like, no, your shit is bomb. Your shit is the best. Your shit, Sybil, is the best. So it's like, charge all the monies for it. Hell yeah.
Yep. And so, so just out there, if you're listening, think about it for a second. We have a bunch of episodes on pricing and how you should value yourself and your services. But Alex and I
talk about them and I don't listen to it. So it's okay. It's okay. If you're like, I haven't done it yet, it's okay.
Have somebody else price your services and have them change them, and that'll be that.
Oh God. Yeah. If you do that, you're going to be you'll be making all the money and you'll be terrified. And I think that's like a good place to be.
Yeah. And you should actually be, I was not terrified at all because I didn't know it happened. But if you're a little bit terrified, that's perfectly fine. Just remember, this is the most important thing about changing your pricing. You will make more money, and it's okay if you lose people because you're making more money. It does not matter. It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay. Hate is going to hate, but the people who love you are going to stay.
Yep. True.
Yeah, that's how it is. All right, guys. So that was just a little bonus right there. We're going to go ahead and get started on the real episode today. Hi, I'm Sybil Solon. I'm an esthetician and spa owner.
And hi, I'm Alex Ellis. I'm a body nerd and wellness expert, and we are business besties.
And bosses, running your own business, it's hard.
But we're terrible employees, so we're figuring it out.
Clearly, we've already figured it all out. But we promise to share everything we know about what it takes to make 6 figures and beyond.
And be brutally honest about what works and what totally sucks.
I'll be honest, a bunch of it totally sucks. So let's get started.
Yes, it does. Welcome back to Skinfessional. On today's show, we're talking about home programs and specifically setting up your clients for home program success, because we all know that the clients who get results are the ones who will stick with you forever.
And why home care isn't one size fits all.
So we hopped on today, and I was telling Sybil about this new physical therapist I'm working with and how, the experience customer care was like top notch. And then I get my homework, and my homework is long, a lot of exercises, a lot of mobilizations, like all this stuff. And if you don't know, that's literally what I do. So I'm looking at this program and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. Even for me, even for someone who like does all the things. And I know that I'm not going to do all of these things every single day. Right. So my brain goes, all right, let me look at this. What is the purpose of this? All right, let me pull out what I need and like, let me fit these exercises into the formula that I already have for home program success and make it work. And then we were thinking about too, how with your clients, right, they come in and if they're not washing their face, you're not going to give them like a 73-step skincare program to take home, because they're not going to do it and they're not going to come back, and they will have spent all this money and they will resent you for being broke now.
They probably won't even spend all that money. They'll probably just get this like glazed look on their face and be like, this person is not for me. And be like, I'll think about that. And then walk out the door and be like, bye. And never see you again.
Yeah. I'm sure happens a lot in the beginning before you figured this out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it absolutely does. And we're going to go beyond the like talking about this based on money. So this is not like about like, how do you sell product? This is really going to come from the idea of how do you talk to people about making sure that they're doing the things you want to do and setting them up for success, whether it's, getting them back into the studio often enough, making sure that they feel comfortable with their home care routine, getting them set up for maybe bridal packages. Alex sets people up for success for, programs, at home programs. You have people who do challenges. You set up people for, standards of practice and stuff like that. I mean, everybody's here.
Well, and I think that, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that this is a large scope item of setting people up for success.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is the biggest mistake people make is assuming that every person who walks in your door has the same needs, that they are the same person, that they're going to respond accordingly. And so even this physical therapy home program, it feels very generic, and I'm not like mad about that. That's how people work, like whatever. But I think it's really important to figure out a way to have some standard of practice for yourself, right? So that you're not recreating the wheel with every client who walks in the door, but a way that still like recognizes and honors and helps their own like individuality and how they work best.
Absolutely. So I know for me, what was the easiest thing was to one of the questions I ask for any client who walks in to see me, and we all have those lists of questions that we ask people. One of the questions I ask is, what do you already do to your skin on a regular basis? And that regular basis is the most important thing you say, because a lot of times you say, what do you do to your skin, or what are you using on your skin? And people will give you like all this because they feel super judged when you ask people like, what are they doing to their skin? They're like, oh my God, this is like when a doctor asks if I'm exercising.
Yeah. I mean, I also got, how much water are you drinking? And I was like, not enough. And then I realized, I'm like, did I totally drink enough water? Why did you respond that way?
Right. So I'm always just like, hey, I just want to know what you're using on your skin on a regular basis. And then I straight up will say, I don't care what specific products right now. I'm asking you, like, do you cleanse in the morning and night? And like, just be real with me. I just want to know so that I can make sure that I fit into your skincare routine. And that's how I put it. just like that. We're just going easy. That's all I care about. And people, if they immediately look like they're like, I'm being judged, you know that this person is going to be a super simple skincare starter outer. And I put them in that kind of bucket. And so, you know, you're going to have these little buckets and you're going to decide for your own thing, like your little buckets of standards. So Alex, how do you do this?
Well, I want to just point something out too of what you highlighted is like meeting the person where they're at and really figuring out how they already function, how they're going to be successful. Right. So if that person who's like, I use bar soap on my face every day. I've never touched moisturizer. Someone bought me this facial and sent me here. Right. That's not the person to give like serums and masks and this and that. They're never going to do it. They're never going to do it. So one thing I've found to be helpful is exactly what you're saying too, of having these different buckets, right? You have already right now a good idea of what type of people come to see you, right? They're going to be, and even if you start with, okay, this is the person on their first visit and like, this is what's important to them. And this is kind of like how they're already working. And then this is where they want to be, right? Yeah. You can kind of break down the steps in between those to get a clearer picture of, here's the entry level person, but here's a person who's doing like a little bit of stuff, but they really want this next level stuff. Right. And here's a person who's like, I'm their fifth esthetician, and they wanted something different, but like they know they get the game, right? Yes. And then here's the person who is doing everything. We're meshed together well. They're going to be here forever. And it's just like maintenance and continuing to build that. But I also don't want them to get bored, Yes. So I'd say, me, get a pen, grab a piece of paper. If you're fancy, fold it into like 5 quadrants. I don't know. And like actually write this stuff out to like think about it. Because once you start to think about it, you will see these patterns show up for the clients that are coming into your door. So I think that's the thing too. It's just like take some time to think about how you would even approach them. And that way you can be more intentional from the get-go. Once you've done
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And once you kind of have those buckets, for me, I like to make sure that once I kind of have those, kind of little like buckets, I have the idea of what are kind of my hero products? What are my hero things that I would do in those? And of course, you can always like zhuzh them. It can be like a little tailored, but you're like, okay, so for me, I have a hero product called the Magic Mitt. I have a client who comes in and is like, I use shampoo on my face. And I'm like, you're going to be a Magic Mitt person.
Are you my father? What?
I'm a busy housewife. I don't even wash my face. Awesome. I've got a product for you, girl. When you're drunk, sitting on the toilet, you can just use this. You don't even have to use soap. And they're like, talk more to me. You're speaking my language. Right. But you have a person who's like, girlfriend, I know more about skincare than you do. And you think you're an esthetician, but like, I reread it.
I watched so many YouTubes.
Okay, so let's make sure we get like the 27 like skincare package out for you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And like you can decide what you want out of that yourself. All right. So you kind of decide on that when you're like looking at like skincare for home care. And also I also ask them what they're on so that I can kind of decide what kind of fits into their routine already. Notice that I said when I talked to them originally is I want to decide what can fit into your existing routine. Right. I try not to move their life. So Alex, when you're moving people onto things, you create, systems for people. If somebody's coming in, they're like, well, I'm a runner. They're like, I love to run. Are you giving them things that are helping them with their running?
Yes, and there's also something to pull out of that is the person who's running typically is already doing some sort of like stretching and like foam rolling routine already. So it's really easy to be like, great, here's the 5 body areas I want you to focus on. Here's the exercises I want you to do. Just do it after your runs. compared to the person who's like, I haven't been able to work out in 2 years because my back pain has
Having
been
so
so
much
much
pain.
and I'm trying to get back into it, right? For that person, I might say, hey, I just want you to start with this one thing and just get into the groove of it. Because I think
That is
we
right.
also forget, that so much of what we're doing is establishing habits with people. And we get really, tied into the detail of, oh, we want them to do this and that and this and that. But if that habit isn't already established, it doesn't matter what the other stuff is. So the simpler you can get it, like you're saying with the magic mitt, let me just get them into the routine and habit of paying attention to their face every day, even if it's just once a day. And then we can go from there.
And that is why we love Alex. So that is why we want that one thing. So notice how Alex starts with one thing. It's not like 17 things, 5 things, even 2 things. Sometimes it's one thing, because setting people up for success is having them win at something. So when they come back in, they're like, I've been doing this thing and it's working. And you're like, that's great. That's so happy.
Magic.
So you've done this thing. Have you noticed any changes? Are you liking it? What's going on? And from there, you can move them on to the next thing. You can change up that thing, etc. That's what you're looking for, because you want those wins.
Yes.
And it's hard sometimes when we're seeing people once a month, because we want those wins to happen a little bit faster. And that's when it comes into this program. So if you're doing a program and you want to see people once a month, you need check-ins. Sometimes if they're new, that's why once a month is a harder. For you, Alex, do you have people who you do check-ins and stuff like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have check-in set up weekly, within the membership. When I'm working with clients one-on-one, again, it's like weekly, we're checking in. I think those check-ins are super, super important just to keep somebody accountable. The other thing I want to add to this is I ask people, how can I help you be accountable? Like, what would be helpful for you? Because there's some people who are like, I want to come and I need to post in the group every day. I'm like, great, then that's what you're going to do. Or it's like, no, I got it. I'm just going to print my thing out and I'll be fine. Okay, awesome. But again, that individualization and like meeting people where they're at with what they already know they can like accomplish, versus saying this is the only way you have to do it and you have to do it this way. And if you don't do it this way, it doesn't count, which I used to be like. So don't do that.
That is a great method. So for skincare, often that is not something we do. We kind of just tell people that this is how it happens and we'll get back to you. Or when we see you next, we'll talk about it. So maybe one of the things in skincare we can start thinking about is, how can we ask them what they need to be successful? And they might not even know because they've never thought about it. But maybe it's, they need a calendar. Maybe it's they need a reminder. You'll start to find out from them what they need as a little helps that, and then
actually I was going to ask about that. Do you, because I know you do with like the Skin Fitness Club, you send out the calendar and do all of that, but in your office, do you ever send people home with like a one sheet of like, here's what to expect and aftercare and like, here's how you use this product and like all that stuff?
So when I first went into business before technology, I used to send them home. We called them prescription, and you'd say, here's how you use your AM and your PM routine, etc. And now I send home, I do like a little video. So everybody gets a little dub video. I love dub, guys, dub.com. I love my dub videos. I send them home a little dub video where it's like, here's how you use your new product. But I don't really like send them anything where it's like, here's how you use all of your products at once. If somebody comes back to me and is like, I'm confused about how to use my product, that is when I send them kind of a more detailed description. I just found that people were getting really overwhelmed with having too much information. Yeah. So what'll happen is when people come back in, I'm like, so talk to me about how your skincare is going. And then I'm like, will you remind me how you're using it? Because you will find that when you ask people how they're using their skincare, they're using it wrong.
Yeah. Well, I will add, as someone who saw someone who does skincare recently too, that wasn't you, you're talking to them. They're giving you all this information. You just gave them a treatment. They might be zenned out. They might be uncomfortable. And they're like, yep. And even when you say, you could text me if you have any questions, I'm not going to text you because I don't want to bother you. I don't want to violate that boundary, So even if you had a piece of paper, I'm so old school in that way, just because it's overwhelming and people can't remember. Even if it's just use your products in this order, or this is for this is for that, some type of physical thing that won't take you too much time to create, that might be helpful, especially for new clients.
I know how many people out there used to send out prescription stuff at home, and then people were like, I lost that.
Well, that sounds like, you could email it to them. What if it was a digital?
I know. But so it's a great idea. We'll see. I'd love to know how many people still send out, because people I bet do. I know that I've emailed those as well, because you can email those to people, no problems. You can send out those as prescriptions as well. Your AM and PM usage, and see how well that works for everybody. Everybody's got their own ways of doing things. I'm always curious about how things are working for every single person. I find that people can't find things, forget stuff, and are pretty much just stupid. It's true.
Yeah. I did leaving the physical therapist. There was a folder waiting for me as I left with 2 pieces of paper. And I was like, is this for me? And they're like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, a souvenir. Thank you. And it was just here's what to expect and all that stuff. But I was just cool, I got a folder. It doesn't have to be that fancy, because I know that can be super overwhelming. I don't print stuff out. I'm doing everything virtual, so it's all digital. But I think something, and also once you've created it, that's the other thing, templates, right? Once you've created it, I'm literally just plugging and chugging and going along. And maybe you have set templates for those buckets of the type of people we talked about. So you're okay, here's my beginner person. They're going to be using this, and this type of product, and they need to use it this time. And, maybe it's just something easy like that you could do.
And I love this idea. If you're a person who you would like to go ahead and print these out, so you could totally print these out. You could you could have these printed out you could have them pre-printed on a prescription pad, and we've all had these guys where you just circle your little products. We've all used these. You circle your little products. We've all used these before. We've had them. We've used them. I'd love to know how these have worked for y'all.
I can already tell how they work for you.
I cannot wait to see what the comments are for Alex.
I know.
And how these have all worked for us over the years.
Okay. Well, I'm curious then. What is, how did it not work for you personally?
Well, just for me, most people just lose them. It's like business cards. People are like, this is what it looks like. People come home and they're like, oh, and I'm folding up a piece of paper. Thanks. And they put it in their bag, and then they just can't find it. They literally just are like, Sybil, do you know, could you send that to me again? I have a million pieces. I can't find, I don't know what happened to it. I lost it. I can't remember even when my appointment was. Alex, let's be honest. How organized are you?
I'm fairly organized.
That's correct. How organized is the regular person?
Not as organized as me.
Yeah, I know. So this is the hardest part. So what I would recommend to many people is email it to somebody, text it to somebody.
Yeah.
So email, text, pieces of paper. In my opinion, pieces of paper, no. But email, text for sure.
Yeah. I was going to say, what about
this is why I dub it to people. This is why I dub to people. This is why.
Right. But I still like something written that's not a video, because whenever I see a video, I'm like, I got to make time to watch that. And I never.
Well, I understand that on my video, within my video, I have just AMUs. I have a description, but there's a video of me using the product.
Right.
So people don't know how to use the product.
You're already doing this. Why are you arguing with me? You're already doing it. Exactly what I'm saying is send some people some digital something, right? So that they can just see it and review it. That is all I'm saying.
Yes,
okay?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
You should absolutely. Alex and I are in agreement. You should send information out to people. Absolutely. Send people information out on how to do the thing.
Yes.
Maybe don't write it down on paper.
No, send it digitally, please. It's
Please
2021.
God, send it digitally.
If you fax
Please
it to
God.
them, I'm going to cry. Do not fax.
Yes, please don't fax it to them. And if you want to give it to them in person with a piece of paper, I would love to know how that works for your clients. Because listen, old school still sometimes works for older clients. They might be that might function for them. Once again, read your bucket, right? Read your bucket. I definitely have some older clients where they're never going to open an email. They're never going to open a text. I have to give them a piece of paper. They're still probably going to lose it. They're going to call me.
I wonder if you just told them like, yeah, so it's in your email and you can print it out. Would that just like too much?
Yes, absolutely. The hardest thing with everybody who's listening is that you're going to actually have to do this thing and make the template or make the video, whatever. You're going to have to set up this item, and it's going to have to be available in the system. And within this system, you're going to have to find the time either between the client or at the end of the day or on a break to do this, which is why, by the way, I have a nap time facial that has this time built in, which I have online courses for now. Okay, that's my little plug.
All right, so we've talked about not overwhelming, definitely meeting people where they're at. I think also understanding what products that they have at home too, and like what they're already using, so you can tell them to like stop using.
Kind of fitting it into their So understanding what they're already doing. So like for you, Alex, you were like, I wanted to make sure I already understood, like, are they already stretching? Are they already rolling out a bit? Do they have some kind of routine already? For us, we're trying to figure out a routine. Are they already seeing a facialist somewhere? Are they seeing a dermatologist? Are they getting things burned off their face somewhere? Are we just part of a system already and we're just kind of filling in a gap? Where do they also want to start and where do they want to finish? Like what are we doing? So are we starting here? Do they have a goal in mind, or are they just being like, I heard that this was a good idea, so I thought, okay. Which happens. I don't know how that happens for you, Alex. Do people just contact you and are like, I kind of wanted to stop hurting, so okay.
I tried to set up so many hurdles so that the person, like, they'll self-select by the time that they get on the phone with me, or like sign up for the thing. So I'm much better about sorting that out now because I definitely have had calls like, well, I just kind of want to see what's up. And I'm like, I cannot believe we're on the phone talking about this right now. Literally, I have a whole website, so many pages with all this information. But
right. So for us as estheticians, we definitely will have people come in and be like, I don't know. I just felt that, like, I don't know. I hit 30. I was feeling old. I thought maybe I should have a facial. Okay. Well, you can turn that customer around, but that customer that's a bucket for me of like, well, okay. So that's the client where I'm maybe I'm going to try to sell them a product, but I'm going to be careful about what I'm doing for them because they're probably not going to be here for very long. Their bucket is maybe not my client.
Right.
Right. Their bucket's like, maybe not my client.
Maybe like, I'm just saying, I have some person in mind too who like just joined my membership, and I'm like, don't get involved. They're only going to be here for a little bit, and then they're going to leave.
We call them visitors. They're just visiting. Yeah, they're just visiting. Don't invest a lot of money yet in them. They're just visiting.
Resources, because it's not just money, it's time, it's energy, it's focus.
That's right. They are visitors. And this is a choice. So for you, you might not have this choice. If you're a newbie and this is like this, you're very new, you might very well have the time to invest in this person because you're new at a business and you're like, I got all the time in the world. Awesome. When I was new, talk to baby esthetician Sybil. She's like, I had all the time in the world to be invested in. I'm 30 and I just wanted to have a first time facial.
Yes, so true.
Sybil's like, I'm all in. I'm going to convert you so hard. You're going to be like, I love Sybil so much. I see her all the time. Right? You depending on what season you are in your business depends on what you are doing. Isn't this true, Alex?
It's so true. Oh my God. Yeah.
This is 100% true. It's 100% true. So think about where you are in your business depends on, how you're setting your clients up for success. Your client up for success might be, I can't wait to just like be all in with these clients. I'm going to be up in the helicopter. I'm going to be a helicopter esthetician for my clients who are like, I don't know if I even need an esthetician. You're like, oh, you need an esthetician.
Don't do it. Do not helicopter. Just step away.
I was a helicopter esthetician. I still have some of those clients.
Yeah. I mean, I think exactly what you're saying is like the longer you do stuff, the more wisdom you get about what type of client is going to stay and who's not,
Mm-hmm.
which changes how I invest my energy and my time.
Yeah.
That being said, like I already have all the systems in place. So like everybody gets the same service,
Yeah.
you know? So just,
It all you all have to just think about, if you're listening, you have to think about what you're looking for your business
yeah.
and who you are. But you're setting those clients up for success. So if you're setting that client up for success as you need to helicopter them, understand that they are going to be a helicopter like client for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point you're going to have to be like, all 5 years down the road, you're going to be like, I can't believe I'm dealing with this helicopter client right now. Oh my God. I hate them so much. Alex, have you had that client before?
I mean, literally, I had someone text me this week and I don't have their number in my phone book. And I'm just like, who is this? But I'm like, but they have my number, so they must know me. And then they said the magic words that always get me going, which is, I can't figure out the tech. And then I'm like, oh no, I made it too complicated. It's all my fault.
No, you did not.
Yeah,
No.
I did. I sent a screen recording of how to.
Oh my God, was it a screen recording?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ask me how much this person paid.
$7.
Yeah, $7. I literally spent 45 minutes of my time angsting over.
So Alex and I have actually had many conversations just recently about $7 clients.
Yeah. Or $3.50 clients. Got that one too.
Yeah, $3.50 clients as well. Okay.
$3.50, but yeah.
So guys, also tip, sometimes look at the price of your clients. I'm not saying value that client based on that, but value your time based on that price.
Amen.
Right. Value your time. Value your time. This is why often when people are like, I love Groupon clients, I'm like, I value your time and your choices based on Groupon clients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So much judgment right there.
We want to hear from you about how you set your clients up for success. Hard word to say. Maybe you already have some of these things in place. Are you writing down prescriptions? Are you sending emails? Are you sending texts? Are you like, oh my God, I have to do all of these things? No, just pick one and do it. But we want to hear from you. So hit us up on Instagram. The show is at Skinfessional. Sybil is at Skin Fitness Expert. I am at Hala or Mala. Or you can give us a ring-a-ding-a-ling and leave us a voicemail inside of our box.
Oh my gosh. It's 818-473-5277. And I want to say hello to Veronica, who left us 4 voicemails this month.
Yeah, Veronica. That's right, girl.
So thank you every single week for the lovely, lovely voicemails.
Love it. I love it so much.
I know. Awesome. So until next week,
keep your secrets to yourself.
Unless you're telling us.
Okay, bye. Bye.